Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Direct Booking Success Podcast. I'm Jen Boyles, your host. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And today, it's not just me. I have someone with me. Her name is Carla Chicharro. She is the head of marketing at Lodgify. Welcome, Carla.
Hi, thanks for having me. So nice
Oh,
to be
it's
here.
my pleasure. So lovely to have you here. Let's start with telling us a little bit about who you are and how you became the head of marketing there at Lodgify.
Yeah, for sure. So I have over a decade of experience in full stack marketing, let's say, but my focus is really in organic marketing. So that means non paid, which is things like SEO, content marketing, social media, marketing automation, all that. So in the beginning of when first started, which was, by the way, 7 years ago, Dennis, the CEO of Lodgify, had a really strong focus on inbound marketing, and he really believed and still believes in SEO. So that's where I came in. That was my background back then. And we built from ground up the marketing team with SEO strategies, really. So that's my background. I've been growing since then. I've built several teams inside the company, well, inside the marketing team. We were initially two people. Now we are a team of 25 people, which is crazy how much we've grown. But it goes hand in hand with how the company has grown and how we've been able to develop our product and our marketing strategies, right? So we now have a team. We still have a team of content, but not just focus in English content, for example, but also Spanish, Italian, French, German, and Portuguese and Greek. I believe I'm missing one more, and I don't remember which one. It's
That's
seven
okay. We won't
languages.
hold you to it. But the team, your headquarters are in Spain, aren't they?
They are in Spain, yes. That's where our main office is. But since the pandemic, we have a lot of people working remotely, which means that we also have people in the US, we have people in Argentina, and several countries in Europe. Also in Asia and the Philippines, we have one person now.
Yeah. Oh, great. And that's where you grew up, wasn't it?
That is where I grew up. Fun fact, yeah, she's actually one of my friends from the past. We reconnected at the company.
Oh,
So yeah.
that's great. Oh, that's really nice. So today we're going to start talking today about building a brand. And not only just an ordinary brand, a brand for a vacation rental, short-term rental brand from scratch to really drive direct bookings and long-term loyalty and awareness. And I'm really excited about this. So tell me, Carla, in your opinion, why is it so important to establish a brand in 2024?
Yes, it's highly, highly important because number one is that, short term rentals have enormous presence these days in many, many markets around the world. There are actually some markets where vacation rental rooms are being booked more. Well, not rooms, properties, sorry. They're being booked more than hotel rooms in some countries. According to Lighthouse in Brazil, 68% more short-term rentals are being booked than hotel rooms.
Wow.
So, which means that, it's growing a lot. You have to keep in mind that hotels are your competition, even if, we might not think of it, they still are. But at the same time, there are a lot of other short-term rentals, right, in this space. So, it's exciting for us as a software that, there are more and more people starting their own short-term rental business, but it's very important at the same time for owners and property managers to differentiate themselves to really stand out from the competition. And then, second, which is actually the most important thing, but I did have to put that in context, is direct bookings, right? So, having a brand, even if it's just a brand name or a really unique rental name, which you can engrave in your listings silently, quietly, so you don't, get unlisted. It's very important because you can turn those lookers into bookers, right? So travelers these days, they're getting really savvy. If they're looking for a good deal, they're going to look for that unique name. They're going to Google that. And if they find their website, then they might even consider booking direct, right? So Competition and direct bookings are the main reasons why you really need to build a brand.
And when should we be creating this brand? Okay. Because I completely agree with you about having this brand established and for the reasons why you've mentioned. But when should we be doing this? Should we doing it right at the beginning or should we just wait until we've had some bookings and get our feet on the ground?
So you can do it at both moments. There's never really like a bad time to start. So if you've already been in the business for a while and your brand, let's say, is you don't have a unique logo or you don't have a unique name, you can always refresh. It doesn't mean that if you didn't start in the beginning, you won't ever be able to do that, right? But I do recommend do it from the beginning. Really think about where do you want to go and think a bit about the future, but at the same time, yeah, you can always rebrand. So it's always a good moment to think about your brand strategy.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess if part of your booking strategy is to
Hmm.
go after direct bookings,
Exactly.
then I guess a brand from the start is, integral, isn't it?
It is. It is. If you're just, thinking to stay on Airbnb and, figure it out while you're starting to get bookings and all that, figure it out as you go, then once you're ready to do direct, yes, you need a brand for sure. But if I would recommend to always think of the future from the beginning, like, where am I going to take this? Yes, we can experiment on Airbnb, but why don't you experiment to have it also in direct, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot to gain.
Yes, it will definitely, definitely. So
Right.
for people that when they're wanting to create this brand,
Mhm.
what are the first things that they should really think about or ask themselves? What should they be concentrating at the beginning?
So when we think of a brand, a lot of people just think of the visual, maybe the logo, like I said, also brand name, colors, all that. So, yes, that is important. That is something that you're going to have to think about later on at later stages, I would say. But you do have to think of it as a, let's say, kind of like a business plan. Think about first, what is it that you want to achieve? What are your business goals? So, yes, we mentioned, do you want to go direct right away? Who is going to be your target audience? So, that sounds very marketing wise, right? Like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
like a marketeer term, target audience, right? But really, it's just think about like, who do you want to attract? Do you want families? Do you think your rental is, for example, it's really big, it's in a rural area, probably you're going to have more families. It could be that you've already been in the business for a while and you've been getting several bookings, analyze those, see what types of guests you've had, and that can help you also decide of okay, this is the people that I want to attract, right? And you can attract different kinds of guests. For example, we have a customer, Gordon from Yellow Block B&B. His website and his property descriptions literally say purposely designed for large groups. So he really focuses on those groups and he has it everywhere. He also says things like it comfortably sleeps 25, perfect for family reunion. So there are other ways of also saying who you're attracting, right? Broadway show groups because he's based in Brooklyn. His property's based there. And yeah, at the same time, his testimonials or like reviews, sorry, they're on the website as well. And they're all about I went with my family of 8, my family of this. And he really showcases that who he's trying to attract, right? With his brand.
So
So
what are the elements of a brand then? Okay. So the visual we think of right away. We think of, okay, we think
yes.
of logo and name, but what are the other elements of building a brand?
Yeah. So business goals? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to attract? How does that rental fit in the market? So that's the more, let's say, business approach that you have to put in, do that research, let's say. So look into what are other people doing? And that sounds a bit scary. Like, how do I find that information? That sounds very, I don't know, very business school wise. I don't know how to put it. But really, how you can do it is just Googling your area. So you could just quickly do vacation rental. Let's say you're in Miami, vacation rentals in Miami, and you'll have several pop up. Usually they're going to be in Google Vacation Rentals, like the meta search engine that Google has. And you can quickly look in there, see how much they're pricing, how much they're what are their do they have unique brand names or not? Because that can also give you a competitive advantage, right? So it could be like, no, their brand name is literally Vacation Rentals in Miami, which it's true that in SEO that's great, but at the same time it's not unique. You won't really remember that in the future, right? So quickly look through like who's out there, who are they going for, who are they trying to attract, and the most important thing besides all that is what makes you unique, right? So we just mentioned Gordon, it's large groups. I have another example with a Carrie from Chalet Huga. Her website or her brand really focuses on that, on Huga, which is coziness, disconnecting, reconnecting with yourself, and really like portraying that in the descriptions, the name, the colors on the website. So really think about like what is unique to you, or what do you want your business to be unique, like known for, let's say, or
Mm.
unique. And it can be as simple as a concept, which is Huga, or who you want to attract. Or, for example, this other customer has 100% solar powered B&B, and that's what they're going for, like eco-friendly and all that. So really try to think about what are you going to do that's different from the rest. Going to trans
Overall guest experience, isn't it? It's like
Yep,
every interaction that a guest is gonna have to you, that you're with you, that your brand is gonna shine through, from
exactly.
your website to the guest communications to their actual stay, how your interior design and the amenities
Exactly.
you have. Because if you're the guy with the solar panels, which is amazing,
Yes.
that's really amazing. But what if they had something that was like, trying to think of something that's completely off brand in their property, like an electric, I don't know, a coal burning fireplace or something like this.
There you go. Yes.
You'd be like, that's not really on brand. That's a
There you
disconnect. So keeping it
Yes.
all cohesive.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So, how can we bring these things to life? How can we get to the point where it is a cohesive experience for our guests?
So, like I said, first think of that. Once you have what makes you unique, you can really translate that to different things. You've already touched on some, which is toiletries, interior design. You could even go through welcome books, guest books, business cards. And for me, and yeah, why we're here today really is your website, right? Along with the social media, your social media presence as well. That's also very important. But yes, on your website, really put yourself in the guest's shoes, at the same time, integrate that brand identity, let's say, in all the different sections of your website. So I have another example, Kristen and Michael from the Seventh Ray. Their brand name is already a bit very spiritual. Their brand logo is very simple. It's just rays, sun rays, but they use the colors of like orange, yellow, very related to the sun
Hmm.
rays, right? And at the same time, their pictures are always taken at like sunset.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or they have like a tint of a little bit yellow, orange. So those little things make it very, very cohesive with the brand, right? And very little goes a long way. Like you don't have to be a photographer or, a marketeer or graphic designer to change these things. You can use tools like Canva to do these little tweaks or get even a logo, right? So, yeah, having all these different things on your website and social media presence is really going to get your brand out there, your
Yeah.
brand voice, let's say.
Like, I want to see these websites that you're talking about, these brands, especially the one with the sun and the colors. I think that sounds really unique. And that's the thing, is it's unique. And people
Exactly.
remember, they won't go, "Oh, I stayed in this Airbnb." Even if they booked on your website direct, they'll say, "I've stayed
Yeah,
at insert brand name here," which is
exactly.
what we're all going for. So let's talk more about your website. How should your brand appear? What's the visuals that we should be using on your website versus like your social media channels?
So on your website, really think of it as the hub of your business. Think of it like the old school flyers, right? We would read through a flyer. It had all the information of that business. And then if you liked it or not, you would call, right? So the website in the end is something like that. And you need to have everything that they might question or might think about there. So, like all the questions that these potential guests have, make sure you answer them on your website, right? You have to get the good first impression. Probably it's going to be the second, but hopefully it's the first impression. So, that's the hub of your business. You can also create supporting content. And this is something that we recommend to all of our customers. Just because you have a website doesn't mean that people are going to find you, right?
Mhm. Oh,
So,
say that again, Carla.
yes,
'Cause like so many people think that if you build it, they will come and you
exactly.
the website isn't the hard thing. It's all the work you have to do to get people onto it. Okay, sorry for
Exactly.
interrupting.
So yes, you need content on your website. Otherwise, people won't find you. And also, you're competing against Airbnb really and the other OTAs, right? Like if people mostly are going to find you through Google, it's where 95% of searches happen, right? So they're going to Google something, most probably hopefully you'll be in the first page, but most probably you won't, right? If you just publish your website, I mean. But if you create content around your local area, around things, amenities, things you do uniquely. For example, we have a customer that also has a property in Devon in the UK. She has a lot of content around local attractions and very niche type of content as well. So, for example, things to do around our area, around the vacation rental property, sorry. Then she also has more generic things. So like best restaurants in Devon, best markets, local markets or Sunday markets. All these
Mhm.
different pages, yes, will get you traffic. And it's true that sometimes it won't necessarily bring you bookings, right? In the first time. But the more you get them to your website, the more you'll get your brand out there, the more they will remember you,
I
right?
am
So hope
nodding along with you. I like to say it. I say to my clients, it's like bringing someone into your website by the side door. They don't
exactly.
land. They're not coming to the homepage. They're not coming looking for you specifically. They're coming in the side door going, "Ooh, this is
Ooh,
really interesting." And then they're like, "Oh, I can stay here." You know?
exactly.
So that, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Because you can have it both ways. It could be people in that live in that area and are just looking for restaurants, right? And then they find you and they're like, huh, maybe I could book a staycation here next time, right?
Or they have
Or
friends coming.
exactly. Or there's someone that's going to the area, they don't have a rental yet, and bingo, there you go. So that's the best way to get your brand out there. You can do the same with social media. But with social media, I would say it's more of use it as a channel, right? Like use it as a channel to maybe interact with actual or potential guests and use it to really promote your brand. So I know, for example, another customer, Triangle Palm Springs, sorry.
Mhm.
They have a really nice looking vacation rental. So they have A-frames. So visually, it's very pretty, right? It stands out a lot. It's very Instagrammable, let's say, right? So they've been posting videos of their A-frames, right? And they've had travelers or travel bloggers messaging them and reaching out to collaborations. And I know some people are a bit, I don't know if against, but they're not too pro collaborations because it's like, oh, I'm giving away stays and they're going to produce content for me and all that. But think of it this way, this it's probably like it costs you less than having to do an ad on Google or on Meta or anywhere. So
Mhm.
think of it that way. Think of the exposure that it might give you. And in this case, it's given them a lot of exposure and they're getting like fully booked thanks to those videos that the influencers are doing, right?
As long
So
as it's a good fit, because
exactly.
you get, having a property You get emails and messages all the time, of people, I'll come and I'll do this content for you. And it's like, yeah, they may not be the right people, but
Of course.
established, Instagram accounts out there, influencers. Yeah, no, it can really work really well. So, what is your biggest piece of advice for those just starting out, for those people that are they're looking at how do I start to build that brand? What's the first thing that they should start with?
Yeah. So now that you have all of those things covered, I recommend to, well, if you don't have your business name, I'd start with there. What is your brand name? I have a prompt actually that you can use for with ChatGPT in case you don't have a brand name, up in your head and you don't know where to start. You can use ChatGPT to get some ideas. So this prompt, you can write this down. So basically, you tell ChatGPT, I'm in the process of starting a new company and I'm seeking a unique and memorable business name. The company operates in the, and then you can put the area. Our core values include, list them, and we aim to, what is your mission? If you have that. If not, you can scratch that. And at the end, you put, can you suggest some creative business names that align with our brand's ethos and resonate with our target audience? So that the more information you give ChatGPT, usually the better. So that's why that prompt is pretty long, but trust me, it's really helpful to use
Yeah,
that.
because you could even add in who your ideal guest is,
Exactly.
what your USP is, the more information you give it. Okay, great. Well, we'll put that in the show notes for sure.
A
'Cause
really fun one,
yeah,
if you don't use that, is create a business name with a play on words using, and then you use the word. So you could also create puns.
yeah, yeah. And if you want a sense of humor in your brand, that would be really good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much. So, I want to talk a bit about Lodgify and how being a PMS, a property management software, how Lodgify can help with building your brand. So, can
Yeah,
maybe you give us a little snippet of what Lodgify is and what it does?
for sure. So Lodgify is an all-in-one vacation rental platform. We position it in the way that we are built for independent hosts and property managers. And we provide the essential tools to start, manage, and grow your business. So, what that means, because that's let's say, our mission, right? What that means is that with Logify, you can create a professional looking website in an hour or less. And you can do that without having any technical skills. So, we have several templates and we have different widgets to really build that website. And if you do have technical skills, you can also customize it as you wish. At the same time, if you already have a website, some people have already WordPress, Squarespace, all of these, you can use Logify's booking engine so that you can start getting bookings from your existing website. Because a lot of times with those external CMSs, they don't offer booking engines that are adapted for the short term rental industry, right? So that's our main feature, let's say. But at the same time, you can also sync your calendars, your all your bookings, your rates, all of these things from different booking platforms like Airbnb, Verbo, booking.com, and Expedia. You can sync all of that so you can manage it from one place. And then, last but not least, we also have guest communication features. We have task management, reporting, and we're slowly but surely integrating a lot of AI features as well. So that's coming soon.
Oh, great. I don't know how, but I know there are people out there that manage their businesses without a PMS. I don't know how they do it, you know?
Agreed. Yeah, there
There
are.
are. Yeah.
Last year when we went to the VRMA, we had some people come up to us and they were like, "Yeah, I have 25 rentals and I don't have a PMS." And I'm like, "Wait, what?
I
How?"
know. I
And
know.
she's like, "Spreadsheets." And I'm like, "Oh, no."
Yeah, I know. And once they get into a PMS and they have it set up and they do it, I could just see
Exactly.
them go, "Oh, why did I do this, 10 years ago or whatever." But this is really great. And I think, what's nice about the PMS is that everything is in one place that you can manage
Yes.
your actual business. But if you don't have a website, an existing website, and you're just starting out, that Lodgify has their website builder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing is that we integrate with Google Vacation Rentals. That really gives you a lot of visibility to your website. So, for example, what I mentioned, vacation rentals in Miami, if you have Lodgify, you will be automatically synced to that and you will show up in those listings. And the good thing is that, in comparison to other PMSs, that link, when they try to book, it takes you to your website. It doesn't take you to anything that's Lodgify related. So it goes directly to you. Same with the logo. It will be your brand logo, brand URL, everything. So that's also one of the ways that we try to really push for direct bookings for our customers.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and the onboarding sessions are very, very important for us and for our customers. So we have free onboarding with all new customers, which are around 2 to 3 calls to get them set up, but also kind of consulting as well. So like they look through how their website is looking, how their channels are connected, what's missing, what they recommend. They talk to a lot of customers every day, so they're like, "Oh, well, maybe in your region it's best to connect here or to do this other thing." So that is something that we really pride ourselves with the like that human interaction and yeah, that consulting side as well.
Yeah, you need help setting them up because especially if you're brand new,
Exactly.
because it is a bit of a learning curve. So having those calls and not just one,
Yeah,
because once you've done one, more questions will come out. So
usually.
that's really
Yeah.
good to know. Now, Carla's going to be joining me in my direct booking tech series. It's going to be on February the 22nd, 2024. So if you're listening to this after, there'll be a replay, of course, but hopefully you're listening to this before the 22nd of February, 2024. We're going to do a live workshop where we really lift the lid on Logify. So if you're listening to this and going, oh, that sounds great, but how do I know if it's right for me or how does it work? And because it's hard, even if you're watching us on YouTube right now, you're just seeing us. We're not
Yeah.
sharing our screen or anything like that. So we're going to do it live. We're going to be building a website live. Like that is really exciting. So we're really lifting the lid. You're really going to see what's in there. And we're going to be talking about SEO and AI and how you can use both of them to help with your direct bookings. I'm thinking maybe we could run a competition
Ooh.
where for the website, we could pull a name out of the hat of whose website we create.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We could do that. Yeah, definitely.
That would be awesome. I think that could be really exciting to build a website live in this workshop and really show you what Logify can do. And you can ask your questions.
Exactly. Make
Yeah,
use of it.
brilliant. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so Carla, this has been really wonderful. And I've really loved talking to you about branding and how to get started with it. And in that vein, I really want to ask you, what does direct booking success mean to you?
That's a great question. I'd say direct booking success is empowerment. It's taking control. Direct bookings really offers the ability to set your own rules, build your brand, potentially reduce a bit commissions, as well like establish direct relationships and trust with your guests. So for me, it's really like giving back the control of their business to property owners and property managers.
And also in the show notes, I'll put Logify's website. And you've got a special offer that you want to give listeners as well.
Yes. So if you use the coupon code DBS10, you can get 10% off our professional and ultimate yearly and bi-yearly plans.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. That's going to be so great. So I'm going to put all of those links in the show notes to the wonderful brands that you've talked about today. I can't wait to see their websites and see what they're doing. The link to sign up for the DB Tech series. We're going to be talking with Carla at Logify on February 22nd, and also their website, logify.com, and also the offer in the show notes. So thank you so much, Carla. And I look forward to seeing you on February 22nd for our direct booking tech series. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you so much for having me.